Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Michaela if you've never been here before. In today's video, I'm going to be going in depth on how I've diversified my income enough to have a full-time income online with my max following of like 2,400 subscribers on YouTube is my biggest platform. Before we get into everything, I want to go ahead and remind you guys to check the description. Everything you need to know about me is down there. My coaching, my OnlyFans, my Instagram, everywhere you can come in contact with me and or purchase products or work with me is down there. If you like me, I encourage you to watch into the video, decide if you like me. If you like me, subscribe and like this video down below. I would really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm and helps more people be able to see my content. I would love that. So like I said, we're going to talk about how I've diversified my income and how you can too. Before we get into, I guess, the specifics, I do want to give a little bit of a background story and a little bit about me because I know a story helps relate. I'm a storyteller. That's just how these videos go. If you're new here, this is really how any of my videos go. I really like giving background information because it's relatable and it helps relate to your situation. So I'm gonna just start off with telling you a little bit about me, how I got started in this. If you're just here for the tips, of course, you can fast forward through. I'm sure some people will do that, but I think it's important to hear the story as well. So that's gonna be the first half of the video. I want to talk about my history with money and how I got here and how I learned everything that I've learned so far. So I grew up in a family with little to no money. My family really worked paycheck to paycheck and struggled to pay bills and had quite a lot of debt from what I know. I grew up knowing that I didn't want that. I grew up seeing my parents and how unhappy they were, and I know that a lot of that was money related. A lot of it wasn't as well, but a lot of it was money related. And I knew that just from the depths of my soul, I knew that I could be the person to change this for my family. And I knew that I wanted to do this so that I could teach my mom how to deal with money, and later in life I could teach my children and make sure that they're set up for the rest of their lives as well. So that's something that I really desired from a very young age. My point with this is it's so important to have a strong why because you're gonna do this for a long time. Hopefully not as long as I did, but you're gonna do it for a while with little to no monetary results. So you have to have a strong why to keep you going. You have to actually love what you're doing and have a reason why you're doing it so you don't give up. I am by no means rich right now, by no means, but I do know a lot about being resourceful and making what you have work for you. So I grew up like that. I remember getting my first job 2 weeks after I turned 16 because you had to be 16 at the time where I was living to have a job. I got a job as soon as I could, and I remember being very, very, very excited to work. I worked at that job for almost a year. I got very burnt out there. I had to work late and I was doing school. I was 16 and I don't know, minimum wage was $7.25. Can you guys imagine that? I cannot imagine working my ass off to make, I think I was making like 130 something like that a week. Of course I was 16, but at the same time I was working like 20-30 hours and I was only making that much with taxes taken out and everything. And I actually, this is a side note, I was having a conversation with my mother 2-3 weeks ago, and she told me whenever she started working, minimum wage was like $3. I cannot imagine. We are so blessed. We are so lucky now. But yes, I remember really wanting to start working so that I could purchase things for myself because, like I said, we didn't have money as a family, so I was excited to be able to buy things that I wanted to buy and not feel guilty that my mom was buying them for me. So I started working as soon as I could. I worked that job for a little bit, and I was the type of person that I mean, even now, I don't think I could ever work a job where you're paid hourly. Even if I was making $30 an hour, there's always that thing in the back of my mind where it's like, I am capped right now. I could be making so much more than this. Like, what if I could have a job where I could get X amount in however many hours? And I would rather take the risk of not having stability rather than like capping myself. So I went into restaurant work after this. So the first job I had was like, I mean, just hourly. It was a grocery store. I worked with my mom and a lot of my family worked there. So I was very easily able to get a job there, which is so awesome. I started to get like work experience very young. I ended up after that job working at Olive Garden. I really liked it for a long time. I worked there for like 2 or 3 years. I'm a very loyal person. So I worked there until I got so burnt out that I couldn't do it anymore. After that, I worked at a daycare for almost a year, a little less than a year. Again, I think what burnt me out there is that I was maxed out. I was making $10 an hour. And I just, it's just that thing in the back of your mind that's like, I could be making more than this. I would rather take the risk, you know? So I was serving at Olive Garden. I hosted first and then I moved on to serving. Then I worked at a daycare, which honestly, I remember that job making me so angry, and these types of jobs really just brought out the worst in me, and I realized that, and I was like, I can't do this forever. And by the time I worked at the daycare, I was 18, so me having anger issues was no longer something that I could excuse as like being a kid. Like, now I had to take care of myself, and I ended up moving out as soon as I could. As soon as I graduated June 2017. It's so hard to remember. 2017, I believe. And I moved out in September. So I moved out pretty much as soon as I could. And I was working that daycare job and was like, I cannot do this. I ended up quitting that job after a year. With jobs, I would never put in my 2 weeks, because I would work to the point where I got so burnt out that I could not go back. Like, I literally could not get myself to go back. So yeah, I would never put in my 2 weeks, and not because I'm disrespectful or because I don't think about other people. I would always feel so guilty, but it would just sneak up on me. The burnout, I would try so hard because I'm such a loyal person. I'm a really good employee, but when it comes down to companies, they don't really care about you as much as you care about the job. So that would always burn me out. After that, I moved in with my parents again because I was like, okay, I need to save some money. I had a year lease. I needed to save some money so I could see what I wanted to do next. After I lived with them for maybe 3-4 months, I moved back with them the next year in September because it was a year lease. I didn't have a job for a while, so I lived with them for a while. I was able to just save up money doing like random things. I don't even remember, but I didn't have a job. So I was able to save up enough money, and I ended up moving to Arizona, which is where I live now. I'm from Oklahoma. I just really had the desire to get out of my hometown. I wanted to make something bigger for myself, and I knew that if I lived there, I couldn't. I don't know, just something about living in my hometown, I just couldn't do it anymore and make the life that I wanted to create. So I knew that I had to switch things up. I knew I had to leave. So I ended up leaving my family behind. I am so close with my mom and my brother, and it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but I decided to move here, Arizona, Phoenix to be exact. And whenever I moved here, my mind was expanded. I went through so much. I ended up, I mean, it's a long story, so I'm gonna condense it. I don't want to talk for too long, just in the background part of it, but I do want to give you all the details and show that I'm not someone that just came from money is like, hee hee, here. Like, I've worked very hard for what I've done, and I've done everything myself, right? So I ended up moving here. I was homeless for a bit. Long story on why, maybe I'll tell that story eventually, but I was homeless for a bit, eventually got a nicer apartment, but it was very, very, very out of my price range. I started making buku bucks, like what to me was buku bucks, and I was like, oh my gosh. When I moved here, I got a serving job. I'm so lucky that I got that serving job when I did, and my eyes were opened, guys. Like the most I had made in a week was probably $300-400 before that, and at that serving job I was making $1,000 a week. And if you live in Arizona around Phoenix, work in DC Ranch in Scottsdale and you will make killer money. I didn't know that. The universe worked it out for me. Honestly, that's what I believe. I just applied to everything. I almost didn't even go to the interview, but I ended up making myself go, and I made so much money for me at the time. I made so much money at that job, and my mind was just opened. And I mean, I served at Olive Garden before, but the money was nothing in comparison to that. I would work 5 days a week at Olive Garden and make $50 to $75 a night, which working in Oklahoma was good in comparison to minimum wage, right? So I was like, I'm making money, and then I would get better serving jobs, and I'm like, I'm really making money, okay? But yeah, I worked in DC Ranch in Scottsdale, and my eyes were opened by the type of people that were there. I started getting around people that had money and seeing how they lived their life, and seeing businessmen and seeing all these people that actually had money. Again, I'm from a tiny town in Oklahoma, so I'd never seen money like that before. I remember getting like an $80 tip and being like, what? Like, you have $80 to just give me? Like, for me, that is like, at the time was like, oh my gosh, my mind was just blown. And I worked at that job for about a year. The management was awful. I really hate being told what to do, especially if there's no reason for it. And it's just so that my manager doesn't get in trouble with people above them. That's why jobs are hard for me. And that's why I've always known that I want to work for myself, right? So I started Instagram in probably 2017, but like not seriously, on and off. So I quit that serving job. In the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to do YouTube. I was doing YouTube kind of, not super seriously, not thinking that I could make anything out of it. I probably had less than 100 subscribers at the time, and not thinking I could make anything of it, but hoping that I could, right? And making the steps and trying to put myself out there more and more and more and more. There's a lot of emotional things that you have to work through when you are starting something like this. So at that time, I was really working through the emotional barriers and the self-worth things and money mindset and all of that. So I was doing that, but it wasn't my main focus. But I really wanted to do it more. So after that, I found another job, a restaurant job, but I wanted something more stable. So I just got like a hosting position, and I was making $15 an hour and like not even $2,000 a month, probably like $1,600 a month. And I ended up moving back in with my mom in Arizona. I finally got her to move here, and I got her and my brother to move here. I now live with her, and everything really just fell into the right place. I don't know, I really believe that everything happens for a reason, and twists and turns and all of this, it will lead you to the right place at the right time if you take risks and if you do things that you want to do and you follow your heart, no matter how cheesy that sounds. So I ended up moving back in with my mom because I got laid off from my job in March 2020 because of COVID. I don't think I can say that word, but you know what I'm talking about. I got laid off, and that that really kicked my butt in gear. At this point, I had 200 subscribers, something like that, a year ago, probably less. And I was going through a tough time and I decided, let's monetize it. Let's just be honest. A lot of my videos are about heartbreak and abuse and all the hard things that I've been through in life, but I'm thankful for all of the hard things that I've been through because I wouldn't have the story that I have, right? And I don't think I would be where I am if I didn't have to go through all of these obstacles. Not that I will ever be satisfied with where I am and be at a final stage, because I don't think any of us will ever be at a final stage, but I'm very happy with where I am right now. But so I decided I'm gonna kick my ass in gear. I started posting as much as I could on YouTube. I was like, you don't have a job, so you're gonna have to do something. You're either gonna have to find another job and start over. But I was feeling so called to just make something for myself. And I was like, this is a sign. Me getting laid off is a sign. This wouldn't happen if it wasn't meant to, right? So I mean, for a lot of people, this time was awful and people were having the worst years of their life. But for me, I wanted to make it something. And I think that anybody can make bad situations into good. But I think because I had so many bad situations and grew up with bad situations and had situations my entire life, I really knew how to turn things around. So I wasn't gonna let this stop me. So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to just live at home and see what I can do. So I started going ham on YouTube. For probably 2 or 3 months straight, I posted every single day. I was like, no matter what, you're gonna post. I don't care if 2 people watch it, you're gonna post. And I started posting a lot on Instagram. I started posting a lot everywhere. And eventually I decided I need help. And I came across Paulina, which I talked about her a lot. She was my mentor for almost 6 months. I've since stopped working with her, but I still love her. She has given me so much knowledge, but I decided I don't know everything and I need help. And she's already done this, so why not just pay someone to help me that can help me? So again, it kind of just fell into place with that. I learned so much from her, and a lot of the information that I'm going to share in the tips portion of this is from her, and just trial and error, right? So I hired her. I spent my last $3,000 hiring her, and then again saved up while I was working with her and invested in her again and spent my another last $3,000 on her. And I learned so much, and all that just to say, you can't do everything alone. I mean, if I didn't have my mom, I would be on the street homeless again. I had my car repossessed and I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. If I didn't have my mom, didn't have my family, I would not have been able to do anything at all. And if I didn't decide I couldn't do everything alone and that I needed help and that someone knew more than me, I would not have been able to get to where I am. My YouTube started growing on its own, and I was like, I need help. I need to monetize this the best I can, and I need to make money doing this as fast as I can. So that's where the tips come in, I guess. So that's where I was. I started working with her November 2020, so or October 2020, something around there. And I just decided she gonna help me. I'm gonna hire her and we are going to get this done. I really believe in surrounding yourself with people that have similar mindsets to you and people that know more than you do, and having a student mentality. You have to understand that, like, you don't know everything, and if you just understand that and you say, like, I'm gonna make this happen no matter what, even if I need help, even if I can't do it all by myself, you will be successful. You just have to put your ego aside and realize you don't know everything. So whether that's looking up YouTube videos like you're watching right now, whether that is hiring someone, whatever you can afford at the moment, like, start small if you need to. I definitely did. Of course, that was like a summary. That was very condensed portion of the last 8 years of my life, right? But yeah, so she taught me how to diversify my income, and I put my own spin on it. So I started an OnlyFans, and that's what made my channel grow. So I would not have ever started an OnlyFans if I didn't post every day on YouTube. If I didn't say, you're gonna have to keep doing shit. You're gonna have to like get this going, and you don't have an excuse not to because you're not working. You are not doing anything else with your time, so you have to do this, right? I made myself. And I had to pay for my own groceries, so that lit a fire under my ass. And so I started an OnlyFans, and I had an OnlyFans and was making money from that before I ever even made a penny from AdSense. I did YouTube for 3 years without making a penny. So I started an OnlyFans and I made $2,000 my first month, and I was like, I can do this. Okay, like it was just like, I can do this. And my YouTube channel started growing. I made a video called OnlyFans for Beginners, which is the highest viewed video on my channel right now. And my YouTube started growing, and I started posting more videos like that so people would subscribe and keep watching them. You just have to post videos that people want to see. Like, go crazy at first, and then, you know, post videos that you can tell people are liking. And I know a lot of people say don't go into YouTube for money. I definitely knew that YouTube was going to be a great source of money, and not because of AdSense, but because of an audience. And I went into this knowing that I was going to make money from it, and knowing that I was going to make money as soon as possible. So I think it's okay to go into this with that mindset. I definitely did, but you just have to be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, it's not gonna work. But you can make videos about anything. Find something you're passionate about and make videos about it. So I would start with like free content, posting as much as you can. And from your free content, I would make an OnlyFans or make a Patreon. Depending on what you want to do. Think of your skills. What are you good at? You don't have to ask yourself the question, what am I good at that other people aren't? Or what do I have that other people aren't? Don't compare yourself. Think of yourself, what am I good at? And pick out what you're good at. I am a Scorpio sun, Lilith, and Venus. I am a very sexual person, so I knew that OnlyFans was gonna work for me. I didn't really go into it looking for anything, but it worked, and I knew that I had that energy and it was gonna be able to work for me, and I was comfortable doing that. But find something that you're comfortable doing. I'm not out here telling everyone to start an OnlyFans because it's not for everyone at all. If you don't have the personality for it, you're not gonna be able to do it. But find something you're good at. Are you good at problem solving? What experiences have you been through in your life? Did you have a hard upbringing? What have you learned? Make videos about whatever. I think what really helped me is forcing myself to make so many videos. You know, you have to kind of force yourself to be creative at first to get the momentum going. So I started with Instagram, and then I went to YouTube, and then I went to OnlyFans. And then with that, that's when I went into the mentorship. So I told my mentor, I was like, I want to make more money. How do I make more money? We worked a lot on my mindset, so I encourage you to work with someone on your mindset. I offer coaching as well, so if you want to work with me, that's in the description. I would love to work with you. My OnlyFans is down there as well, and so is my Instagram, and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, but it's all down there. If you want to keep in contact with me, or if you have questions or whatever, leave them in the comments or DM me on Instagram or something. But that's how I went into this. I was like, I need to make more money. How do I do this? So worked on my money mindset a lot. I encourage you to just work with someone on that, because it's a lot, and it's person by person. It's belief by belief, and just knowing that you can't do everything alone. You need someone, okay? So with that, I worked on my money mindset, and with working on your money mindset, you start building your self-worth. So you start realizing, I have a lot of skills that I can give to people. I can make things. I can do things that I thought that I wasn't able to. So I made a Shopify website. I just have a business brain. I don't know. Like, I'm a problem solver, and I really think it's important to diversify your income. It's important. If YouTube were to go away tomorrow, I would still have these other things. If OnlyFans deleted off the face of the earth, I would still have other things, right? So having multiple streams of income and also having something that is yours. So I recommend creating a product, creating a workbook, creating a document, creating something, a PDF you can sell that is teaching something to someone. Knowledge is power, and we are really going into that in society and learning online. So knowledge is power. Things are very censored online, so having your own thing where no one can censor you, no one can change how you speak, no one can censor you. I really recommend like starting like a Shopify and thinking of a document you can sell, thinking of something that you can sell. I don't have experience with creating products, but you can learn how to do that, find vendors, make stickers. If you do art, sell your art, stuff like that. Shopify is very, very, very easy to use. So I really recommend having something on your own. Yes, you can have your following from YouTube, and that's where you're going to get clients, customers, whatever you want to do. If you're a customer service type of person, maybe do coaching, you know? If you're really good at giving advice, I notice in my life, I give people unsolicited advice, and it's really good advice. And I know that I have a lot to offer with that. So I started doing coaching and deciding like, okay, how much do I want to charge for this? And making courses, and just never letting people forget my name was the main thing. Like, you just have to keep showing up at first. You just really have to keep going. And if you stop posting, people are going to forget about you. If you don't shove yourself in someone's face, like, no one is going to remember you. Everything is so oversaturated. So people are going to forget about you if you don't post a lot, or if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you. If you're scared to post about your product, if you're scared to post about your service, if you're scared to post about your Patreon, your OnlyFans, your YouTube, your Instagram, if you're scared to post about these things, no one's going to ever know it exists. So you have to promote. You have to say, this is me, take it or leave it. So that I recommend mindset a lot, and working on your self-worth, because that has done a lot for me. But diversify your income, come up with products so that you have something of your own. Do some sort of platform so you can start getting clients, whether that's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. I recommend TikTok if you're a video person. I don't know. You can do anything. You can literally do anything, and it's easy to grow on TikTok if you put your full force and yourself into it and you put your energy into it. It's easy to grow, because when you post a video, it goes in front of everyone. It's not like Instagram where you have to target it. It goes on a page where everybody can see anything. And so if you're starting out right now, I would say TikTok is the way to go. It's relatively difficult to grow on Instagram. I do have a how to grow on Instagram, like $3 template in the description on my website if you want to learn how to grow on Instagram, because I really like Instagram. But TikTok is the way to go. I really recommend just being on everything. Like I said, don't let people forget who you are. So I recommend having free, and then have like a free platform, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. Having a platform that's exclusive, so that if people want to see more of you, they will. If people want to see more of you, they can subscribe monthly. So there's monthly income for you. And then having products of your own, creating your own shop, whatever that is. Products, coaching, templates. You'll notice that a lot of these smaller YouTubers share documents. They just sell PDFs on how to do this, how to do this. Do something like that. People want you, you know. If you're real on your free platforms, people are going to want to subscribe to your paid ones, because when you're real, you touch people's emotions. So don't try to do what everybody else is doing. It's not going to work for you. Do what you want to do. That's the only thing that is going to work. And I'm living proof of that. I was ashamed of my sexuality. I was ashamed of all of these things. And whenever I decided, I don't need to be ashamed of this. I have these placements for a reason. I have these interests for a reason, and your interests are your strong suit. So follow what you actually want to do. Don't do something that you don't want to do. So, I mean, that's how I've diversified my income. You just have to have the mindset of, I'm gonna make this work, right? And even with OnlyFans, I started capitalizing on that and doing shout outs and doing more and more videos about that. And I ended up making a course for OnlyFans. So if you're interested in that, again, it's on my website down below. I made courses for everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm interested in. And I never do anything just for money. I'm the type of person that I have to really enjoy what I'm doing. So I don't think I could ever just do something for money. So just post what you're passionate about, post your personality, don't be scared. Go all in, decide you're gonna do this and do it. And again, a free platform, go ham on this free platform. When you're ready, do some sort of subscription where you get monthly and it's more exclusive content, whether it's just like having a Patreon and doing an extra YouTube video a week and people want to see that, and then having a product or teaching something or coaching or whatever you like to do. I can't give you exact because everyone's different, and if I told you to do coaching, some of you are gonna absolutely hate that. And if I tell you to make earrings, some of you are actually gonna hate that, right? So you have to be creative and you have to do that for yourself and decide what you want to do. Another thing I want to say is you don't have to have a large following. That's kind of the point of this video. You can have 200 followers, you can have 500, you can have whatever you have. Someone is going to connect with you if you are being yourself. And for example, one of my friends, Jenna, that I've met through my mentor and through Instagram, she has maybe 400 followers, 500 followers on Instagram, and she has her own little shop and she does coaching and she's making money from that. So take that as like oh, I can do it. If you have excuses on why you can't do something, that's where the mindset work comes in, and that's where you have to have a growth mindset and you have to work for what you want to do. You have to make it happen. Nothing is ever going to just fall into your lap. That's something I've learned over the past year, honestly. Nothing is ever gonna fall in your lap. You're gonna sit here waiting and waiting and waiting for a video to go viral, waiting for all this money to just fall in your lap. And just because it looks like that's what's happening to everyone else, that's not what's happening. It takes grinding and it takes making things happen. You can make something happen. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. Don't focus on the followers. Focus on what you already have. Focus on the people, right? Don't focus on the number. Focus on the person. Focus on the value that you're giving. And I mean, to focus on value that you're giving, you have to have high self-worth and work on that first. This is a long-term game. This isn't something where you can just wake up one day and, okay, I'm a millionaire. And that's why you have to do what you're passionate about, because this is a long-term thing. And you might go months, years, I don't know. I went years without getting any monetary value from any of this. And I just did it because I love it. And because I knew in the long run, my future self would thank my past self for doing this for me. And yeah, I'm gonna film a video on how much exactly I make a month. So if you want to see that video, subscribe. I don't know if it's up before or after this one, but I'm gonna make that video as well. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you found it helpful, if you relate, if you found it inspiring, motivating, anything. I would love to have that for the algorithm. And if you like me, subscribe. If you want to see more of me, my OnlyFans is down below, so is my Instagram, and so is my website if you want to work with me personally, or if you want to purchase any of my guides. I have price ranging from $2 to $1,000, so there's something for everyone. I would love to see you guys over there. I hope this video helped you. I love you. You can do this. You can do anything you want with your life. Okay, you just gotta make it happen. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.